This is Jacob Ballard, Movie-holics Anonymous here, talking about my thoughts on the first Saw movie. I finally saw the first Saw movie. I've never seen the other 7 of them after that, and I don't plan on it because the first one's gross enough for me that I don't want to see anymore. And plus, I only watched this movie because James Wan did it, and the new one was coming out, and so I was just curious. James Wan, of course, did The Conjuring 1 and 2, Insidious 1 and 2, and I really enjoyed the way he directed this movie. There are several scenes where they're really graphic, disgusting things that happen that he really kept the camera away from and let you imagine. I felt like those scenes were more effective than the scenes where he showed anything, and I appreciate the fact that even when he showed gross stuff, generally he kept the camera from being on it so long that you gagged. But I feel like he lets you imagine more rather than showing you all the gore splash at the screen. Now there's times where I think they took it too far, but he mostly kept it psychological, and that's what this movie thrives on, is the psychological horror that these characters are dealing with when they're stuck in this situation they can't get out of. How are they going to get out of it? How can they help each other when they're supposed to kill each other to get out? How can you survive something this awful and maintain your humanity? And how can you deal with your past and be honest with someone that seems like a complete stranger? And there's lots of twists and turns, and there's the characters are likable, and Lee Wanell, how do you say his name, and Carrie Elways are both good for the most part of the roles, but they also have several moments where they were over the top, and that might be going to direction. But James Wan, I'm not sure. But there are a few scenes that were over the top with their acting, and some of them they played for comedic effect. Other times they took themselves too seriously. And there's also a really badly edited and filmed chase sequence where you see a shot of a car and a guy in the car, and you see a shot of the other guy in the car, and you see them going back and forth. You'll see the different shots of the front of the car, but not the side of the car, not the cars around them, not the two cars getting close to each other hardly. It's just so edited, so meshed in there, so forced in there, because the budget was so low that they just were like, well, we have a chase sequence, so it has to be shown, this part of it. But honestly, it made it look really cheap and funny in the middle of a very suspenseful scene that took away from the film for me. It made me laugh, but not in the way it's supposed to. But there other scenes in this movie are very suspenseful. The ones with set pieces where they're running down hallways and they're chasing somebody, or there's someone about to burst out of the closet. And there's a lot of psychological things that work in this movie, and this movie had me engaged throughout most of it. And because it works for the most part, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. It's a solid horror movie. It really does make you think psychologically. It is disgusting at times too, and it's not for everyone, not for people with weak stomachs, and I usually am a weak stomach when it comes to horror movies. But I endured it for this movie, but I'm not going to watch the other ones because I've heard they're terrible and they're gross. So anyway, with that in mind, Jigsaw comes out on Friday. It's the 8th one. I don't know how they're still going with it, but I love the twist at the end of this movie. I love the way that they get inside your head. I love the way that they kept it as psychological as possible. And I think that it's a really neat concept, and it's a shame that it's gone downhill since then. But anyway, let me know if you like the first Saw movie better than the other ones, or if you're excited for the new one in the comment section below, guys. Until the next video, talk to you later, guys.